I've used AI to write copy that's driven over $25 million in client revenue over the past few years. So when I saw Cardinal Mason's video explaining how he's going to use AI to make 500k this year, I had to watch it. And spoiler alert, it's not good. And based on the comments, I'm not the only one who noticed. So before we get into this video, I want to start off by saying there's no hate intended here. I actually like Cardinal Mason's content and he's extremely good at what he does and he makes a fuck ton more money than me. But first, before we get into what's wrong with the video, I want you to understand the game Cardinal Mason's playing, which is actually very smart. He's basically built a copywriting program of making copywriting look like an easy skill to learn and an easy business to run, and it's definitely not. His motto in the early days when he was popping off on TikTok was read Cashvertising, write a few samples and start doing outreach. Don't get me wrong, Cashvertising, great book, and if you read it you probably will know more than 99% of the population about copywriting. But the population know nothing about copywriting, so if you even know what copywriting is, you know more than 99% of the population. Just by reading Cashvertising, it does not make you a copywriter in any way, shape or form. It will not instantly just make you be able to write copy that sells. That's not how it works. Copywriting is a skill that is mastered over decades and you can't really complete the game of copywriting, and you certainly can't just read a book and become a copywriter. But it's actually really smart in the way that he does this, because what he does is he dumbs it down and makes it appeal to a larger audience by saying, you know, you can work 2 hours per day and make 10k a month, which is obviously going to appeal to a wider market, because who doesn't want that? I get the game 100%, do your thing. But the problem when you appeal to this larger market is you tend to bring in the kind of wrong audience. Like most of the people who are in the copywriting world are in it to make a quick buck, don't really want to learn anything and don't want to bring real value to their clients. And some of them don't really care about their clients, they just want to make that 10k by working 2 hours. Now, when you do this, inevitably what's going to happen is clients are going to get burnt and some businesses are going to get fucked up. And that's just what happens when you appeal to a large market, a mass market with some sort of biz op like this. You're going to bring in unskilled people who don't really want to learn, they just see the 10k a month, 2 hours a day. However, I totally understand the game, and at the end of the day, he's the one with a Ferrari and not me. So anyway, let's get into this video and kind of dissect the part where he speaks about his prompting framework.
The email that I stole from Brooke Hiddink, where he sells like high ticket dropshipping. I'm gonna do exactly what I just said. Hey Claude, I say keep the same tone of voice and make it sound human and authentic. Okay,
this is the prompt he gives. Now, again, I fully understand the YouTube and content game, and maybe, just maybe, he's dumbing down this content to appeal to a larger audience, and this isn't how he would actually do this. But if this is the type of prompt he would use, then fuck. This is the part that I want you to really look at. He says here, you're going to rewrite this email by employing direct response marketing principles to double the click-through rate of this email. Now, when he says employ direct response principles, he doesn't outline what those principles are in the prompt. Does he know what they are? This is just a question that I'm asking. Now, I get that this is different because what he's doing here is he's editing another email, which is totally different to creating an email from scratch. Now, what I do with my prompts is I have this. Now, you can get access to this just by signing up to my newsletter, but this is how you can create direct response copy with AI. Now, what I do is a few steps. We use a brief that tells AI the target audience, their pain points, fears, their desires, the one big promise of this offer, existing solutions, product details, key benefits, common objections, and sometimes we use in real life situations that the target audience might have. Then we also use a core prompt, which is this part telling AI exactly what it is. Now, this is just a very simple prompt that I use. This is just the free one that I give you. There's a ton more to this. When we use other ones, we use sometimes prompts that are 2 pages long to get one email. And then we have essential style elements that actually makes it come out like a direct response copywriter. And we also have you paste the brief in here, then you use your desired angle, then sometimes we also have different frameworks for it as well. Now, you can get away with using his style of prompt if you're editing an email. However, we don't see the email that he edited, and it was edited for Brooke Hiddink. Now, that email probably didn't need much editing at all. Brooke Hiddink does like 1 million a month. He's probably a very good copywriter. So the email's already going to be banging. So to edit an already good email just doesn't really make sense, does it? But the main thing is here, what happens when you go to use this type of prompt to write an email from scratch, which is what you're going to need to do for clients? In my opinion, this is a pretty shit prompt that I was using 2 years ago. And I've said this throughout my channel. And the thing is, I've been building these types of frameworks for the past 2-3 years. I've not written a single piece of copy from scratch in the past 2 years. Now, let's just get into the comments on the video. So this is the first one to take a look at. It's, you were against AI a few months ago, Mason. Curious to know what changed. Keep up the fire content. Lovely. Now, this is something that I noticed as well. Mason was always against AI. Like, just a few months ago, I remember seeing a TikTok and it was like, if you use ChatGPT to use it to write copy, it comes out as bullshit. Now, what that tells me is he hasn't dived into this at length, because the real top of copywriters have been using AI for the past 2 or 3 years. I'm talking about people like Stefan Georgi, and probably one of the best direct response copywriters still living, in my opinion. And he probably hasn't written copy from scratch in 2 years. So if he's not doing it, like, he probably knows more than Mason, to be honest. I maybe don't, but Stefan Georgi definitely does. So that was the first thing that I noticed. Then there was this other comment that says, so basically do copywriting with AI for people who don't have time to do it. Comparing this to Bitcoin is crazy. The value of this is going down as fast as Bitcoin goes up. Every single person is getting rid of copywriters as we speak. No one's going to pay to do this in 6 months. Now, people keep saying this is April Fool's Day. I don't know, maybe this is like a complete April Fool's Day YouTube, but I don't think it is. However, I've got a few things on this. Now, I kind of get what he's getting at here. Everyone's getting rid of copywriters, understandable, but a lot of people just want you to implement this because they don't have time. And using AI to write copy isn't that easy. Like, you still need to know what the inputs to put. Like, clearly Mason didn't really know what he was doing here, in my opinion. He just used a very simple prompt that a business owner could use and it spat out something decent. But if you want like A+ copy, you're going to need a better prompt than that. So that's what I've got to say about that. This part here about big businesses won't hire you without a degree. Like, who is this guy? Like, nobody, I don't know. People who are hiring copywriters don't typically look at your fucking resume and see if you've got a degree in copywriting. Do you know what I mean? They're looking to see if you can write fucking copy. And it says a lot about the future of artists and copywriters. Now, this one here was the one that I really wanted to speak about. The info in this video is lazy and bad. Yes, I would agree with that. AI copywriting has been used since 2021. Yes, 100%. And there's rinsed as fuck. I don't think companies want this after, I've not seen Coca-Cola's AI ad. Do not do this business model. Now, I 50% agree with what this guy's saying. Doing exactly what Mason's teaching here probably is not going to be successful. People aren't going to pay you for that. But if you develop very advanced prompts that those people can't and spit out even better copy than this is spitting out, then the thing is with his prompt and the output, it was an already good email that could be easily edited. So I don't know, I just don't get that part. But what I would say is using AI in copywriting is 100% going to be what a lot of businesses are based off. Notice how I say based off. What I mean by this is you need to learn other complementary skills to copywriting. You need to be able to write someone's like scripts, VSLs, emails, ads, landing pages, build their funnels, build the automations, take over everything in this. You can't just write emails with this or just write whatever, especially with prompts as simple as these. And that's exactly what I do. I write everything for my clients. But you also need to understand how these businesses work, and AI can't really teach you that. So yeah, this whole idea of just type this into ChatGPT or Claude and you're going to make 10k a month, it's a bit of a fantasy. AI is just a tool. It's a very powerful one, but it's only as powerful as the strategy behind it. And if you don't understand offers, funnels, messaging, positioning, scripting, or even how to speak to a client and converse with someone, then all you have here is a glorified writing assistant and basically zero idea how to implement or use it. The whole problem with videos like this, I believe, is it makes the whole game look easier than it is, and it sets people up for failure. Now, like I said at the start of this video, this is not hating, this is just me giving my complete, honest, raw truth to this. As someone who's been using AI for the past 2 years and driven a lot of fucking revenue with it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you want to learn how to use AI the real way and get that prompt sheet that I showed you, just hit the link in my description, sign up for my newsletter, and I will send you it right over. So, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.